Okay, I think I'll have to bring it closer. Hi guys, so I'm just trying to set on the camera and make sure it's crystal clear. Yeah, I think way better. Okay, so this is our beautiful model for today. So I really do not want to take our time. We're going to go straight into it. This class for today is going to be broken down into two. The first part is the makeup and me trying to show you how I achieve my textures, talking about my foundation, also talking about how I like to work in general. Then we are also going to be showing you how I switch my look. Do you understand? We're going to be talking about how I switch the look, how I change it from like from a glittery look to a more matte look. Regardless of it, I am trying so well not to say how I switch it from a white wedding look to a traditional look, or how I switch it from a cut wedding look to a civil look, because sometimes some clients, even for photo shoot, just want to have a switch in look. So put it at the back of your mind that it's more or less a switch in look. So whatever event, whatever you're attending to your client at the time, and you want to have a switch in look, I will show you how I switch my look. Then we'll be having a very important class after this, which is me talking to you about what and things you need to do, put in place. This is not a business class. That part will not be a business segment, but it's literally me just showing you and telling you things you want to put in place. Because I do not want to waste too much of your time, this is me. We're going to go straight, and this is my beautiful model, Grace. We're just going to go straight into this look. Alright, so you're not going to be seeing more of me. Let's focus on why we are here. First thing first, we want to clean. I need my micellar water. I'm going to be cleaning the face of my model. I'll be using my wipes. For every question you want to ask, but just so that this class goes on really smooth, I would recommend you write down your questions. And during my business class, I haven't recorded the business class because I needed most people who have questions from this live class. Once they throw in all their questions, I'll have a representative who is going to take note of these questions, and we are going to be tackling them. So I won't have time to come over and look at your messages, just so that we can have our process really swift and fast. So I'm using my micellar water, and I'm using the micellar water from the Nia Beauty Cosmetic. I'm just pouring it onto my wipes. You can use a cotton pad. You can equally use your wipes, but make sure that the face is clean. The clean canvas just gives you a really beautiful job. Make sure your face is always clean. Very important. Sometimes I go with 2 wipes. I have my assistant always help me prep this. So most of my look, I really didn't record that part, but we always clean the face. So I'm going to change the wipes, another one, and then I'll be using the same micellar just to make sure that the face is properly clean. Next up I'll be taking is my eye drop. I think that part is quite, you can skip it, but just for the purpose of my client eyes looking so white, and then for any tears, I like to use the Vicine. Please buy from the pharmacy, and make sure it doesn't touch the eyes. So you want to for For me, I use 1 drop. I don't use more than a drop, except it didn't go in. But 1 drop is fine because you just need it to stabilize the eyes and make your eyes really appear white. As soon as our eyes is all set and ready to go, we'll now start our makeup fully. Where's my fan? It's stopping. Thank you. So I'm just using this as my moisturizer. Any moisturizer is fine, but I'm using this Fenty lip gloss in the shade Glass Slipper. Slippers, yeah. Slipper. Glass Slipper, yeah. Just to hydrate her lip prior to me starting my makeup before. And now we're ready to start full on. Let me see. We have 74 people. Okay. Good afternoon, Grace. What's the purpose of the eye drop? The purpose of the eye drop is so that the eyes is stabilized. It reduces redness of the eyes, stabilizes the eyes, and in case you have maybe like your eyeshadow period around, it's just going to make sure that the eyes is stable in a nutshell. Yeah, that's like the purpose of it. So I think just so that we're fast, maybe you can be reading out any message you see, just read it out to me or get my attention so that we can just be fast with this. Okay, so next up I'm going to tame her brows. While I tame my client's brows, one of my focus points.
Only at the Kenji, please, what's the product for the eye drop?
Vicin or Vicin. What is it? Can I show them? While I prep the eyes, I always make sure. Okay. This is the name. So you can take a screenshot or anything. Yep. I always make sure not to touch the beginning part of the eyes. Can you see this beginning part of my brow?
So your advice would do drops on every client?
I do not advise. I'd rather advise you to request their permission first. You have clients who have like eye irritations or really sensitive to things. So we just want to tell them that this Vicin is something that's going to stabilize their eyes. Some clients already have like a different brand that would also enhance stabilization. If they give you the go ahead, that's fine. But if they don't give you the go ahead, please proceed with your makeup without having to go eye drops.
So those things should just go ahead and we can ask questions.
Exactly, which is actually so that will be fast. This is a YouTube video, so it will just finish all your data. And I'm trying to make sure that we learn and most people don't get caught up in the process. So please remember to drop your questions afterwards so that we'll be fast. Now that I'm carving the brows, I'm just going to focus on the tail end. I do not like to carve the beginning part of my brows. I like to just focus and clean in a nutshell. So whatever I do, I just clean this part. That's just all I do. So my brow carving or grooming or taming doesn't really take long for me. It is me just stretching up the skin and taking out my hair. And that's it. That's literally what I do for all my clients. I never touch the beginning part of my brow. Even if our brows is so bushy, no, I never touch the beginning part of the brows. And that's it. I never touch the beginning, and I also do not recommend you to carve the top part of your brows, because sometimes when you carve that part, it just makes it give, you know that it gives this map of Africa thingy. Do you understand? So I just don't recommend you to carve the beginning or the top part of your brows. Now we're going into our makeup fully, and then the first thing I'd like to use is to give my skin proper hydration, and I'll be using the Urban Decay Hydrating Spray. An alternative Nigerian brand to this is the Bicham Ageless. That product is so good, trust me. It's a very good alternative brand. Once you spray that, you want to ensure it dries. Just to hasten the process, you can either use your hand to massage that in or use your brush to just hasten the process. As soon as I'm done with that, I'll be going in with my serum. Most of these brands I'll be using today are literally what you've seen throughout our product list and videos we've sent. So I just do not want to take too much of our time so that we don't have to go through all those showing brand process. Can I get the order of this serum? This one is out. Okay. Now I'm going to focus my serum under the eyes. Very important to focus a serum under the eyes. That's like the first application point. Then whatever is left on your brush, you just want to swirl around. Yes, swirl around. But first point under your eyes and dry. Now my model is holding the fan, so sometimes you might not see the fan, but make sure that you have a fan really close by, as that would make all your prep go in and dry down better. My hand is clean, so do not worry if I am touching her skin without having to show you that my hand is clean, but my hand is actually clean. Once my serum is being applied, the next thing I'm going to do is go in with my moisturizer, and I'm using the moisturizer from the Moisture Bomb, from the Vinest Moisture Bomb. Sorry? What's the question?
What if the beginning is so wide and clients want a slim brow?
Sorry?
What if the beginning is so wide and the client wants a slim brows?
Then she has to carve her brows parallel to the day of the makeup. If you carve it on that day, it's going to give you a very static brows, and your brows will not look realistic.
Can we use any fluffy brush for the process?
For the process of moisturizing or process of prep?
Can you specify?
Yeah, so if it's prep, you can use any fluffy brush. I think any brush, because this is meant to be like your under eye brush, but I'm using it for this process. So for prep, that would work. Any fluffy brush will work. So that was me just using my moisturizer and applying it everywhere. Next up, we want to go over to the other primers we have on the table. The next primer I have on this table now is my oil control primer, and I'm using the Meron Anti-Shine Oil Control Primer. This is just going to help. This is like an oil control primer, like the Becca primer we have been using in the past class. My problem with this primer is that it just has color variations, and I feel like that might be stressful. So there's a color, I think there's a medium, light, dark. You just have color variations, but it's also a good one. So I focused it only on the nose because that's where she tends to produce more oil. If you have clients that produce a little more oil around it, especially your brides, even if I'm meeting my brides on the first day, I just make sure that I apply that primer here. Do you get? I make sure I apply my primer at this point. But for today, I'm only going to focus on the nose. Okay, now as soon as that is dried in, I'm going over to my next prep, and the next prep I'm using is the
Ask if any Nigerian product is an alternative for the serum. Is there any alternative product?
Yes, there are nice Nigerian serums. There's Omari Code. There's I think Zaron also has a very good serum. I think serum can be replaced. Honestly, there is no must do and must not do with serums. They can actually be replaced. The only thing is every serum has like their target market. So if you're pleasing with the mixing tray, if you're buying a serum for brightening, just ensure that you understand. I prefer you to buy a serum that clearly states hydration. Now, take note, this is the primer we're using now, is a green primer. This quantity is too much. Too much. Can you see what's on my hand? For the grip primer, I highly recommend you to use your hand.
Okay. Can I apply the primer on the brows if the client sweats from?
Yes, you can apply your oil control primer on the brows and your sweat stop on the brows too. Going back to my grip, please make sure you are using very tiny portion and ensure that for each application you massage. I know you know how to rub cream on your body, so that's the vibe you want to get when you're using the grip. Make sure you apply and massage. Never apply under your eyes. You want to focus on the forehead, around the lip, around this part of your face, and around the ear point, because those are the areas foundation tends to lift when people that sweat just mistakenly use their tissue or their handkerchief. So those are the areas you want to apply your grip. Alright, and then the final part of this prep is going to be my sweat stop or my toner. Now, whenever you want to do this section of using toner afterwards, we only, let me not say we, I rather only recommend you focus around the hairline and areas that tend to sweat. So if I'm doing this technique, I only just go around my hairline and here. Because most of the Nigerian branded sweat spots, they are too strong.
Can sweat block be used in place of the primer?
No, sweat block and primers are two different things. Sweat blocks helps you to hold in your sweat at certain areas. So you know naturally that when clients sweat or when you yourself or people sweat, they tend to sweat around the forehead faster than any other part of their face. This forehead and underneath this bridge between the nose and the lip factor. So those are like the key points of application for sweat stop or sweat block. Right. To push all your prep in, I'm going to be going in using a setting spray, but the setting spray is actually very optional. Very, very optional. If I go in with a setting spray at this stage, it's probably because I am looking for a setting spray that would either mattify my look or would give me more hydration. So if I'm looking the yellow one, if I'm looking to have a more glowy finish, I would use my hydrating spray. If I'm looking to have just a spray that would push all this prep to dry to the skin, I would just go ahead and use a regular setting spray. Another question?
Please, what about the Mismetic Power Seal?
That's also a sweat block. It can be used in place of the Meron skin prep.
Okay, this person said to think I have this grip primer but was using it wrongly.
Yeah. So that's why I'm happy you're in this class. You're able to know the right way to use it as to get the best and the maximum result. So most times the product or the product might not be the problem, but most problem is also from the application. So once you get your application right, you just really certain that you get better and faster results. Alright, please, let me see the other blender. This doesn't look bad.
Zaron oil block replace toner for day.
Yes, yeah, the oil block can actually also replace toner. But like I said, ensure, what's this blender again? I need it wet. Ensure that whatever toner or sweat block that you're using, if you're doing this technique that I just showed you now, focus more around the areas that the client tend to sweat more. That reminds me, I see a lot of people applying toner and sweat block here. I stand to be corrected, but I feel like a lot of clients do not really sweat around here. Most sweat I see is mostly around here. Except you have a special case where the client is telling you, oh, I sweat around here, then you want to apply your toner or your sweat block here. But if not, focus more around the hairline. See, tilt a bit to the side. You see areas like tilt more, areas like this. These are areas you want to apply your sweat block, because those are the areas that when she sweats, it drips down. Does that make sense? Alright, so now we're going over to foundation. I had one of your colleagues that asked me, how do I get my foundation? Do I look out for this? Do I look out for that? And This is going to be a response to that question and to everybody who has been having such challenges when it comes to getting the right foundation. One thing that has kept me long in the business, especially when it has to do with foundation, my little days of beginning, is to use what I call my color sense. Color sense is if I see a dark foundation, it is just natural. It's just normal for me to know that, okay, let me give a very good instance. Now, can I get that foundation? That would be peanut butter. Peanut butter, yeah. So when I get this kind of foundation and I put it really close to my model, my normal, like, I don't want to say normal sense, but like the first thing that comes to my mind is this foundation is dark. It's normal, okay? Now when I get this foundation close to my model, the next thing that comes to my mind is that this foundation is light. So one of the things that I used to do, or I am still currently doing, is that I get all the foundations that I have that is relatively closer to the client. I like to be very realistic. It is one thing for you to have those products readily available, and it's one thing for you to look into the future. So let's say in your box at the moment, at the time, I have 1, 2 foundation. These are the foundations that I have in my box. This is what I have. Let's just, like, I'm being very realistic with you now. What will I do? Will I decide if this is her shade, or will I decide this is her shade? And which brings me down to how I like to achieve my foundation. Please take note when you want to do foundation or apply foundation on your client. 2 major key points for me. Number 1 is texture. Texture is, how do I like my finish? Do I like a shiny finish? That means, do I like my client to look glowy? Do I like the foundation, when I'm done applying foundation, my client is still looking like glass? Or do I want my foundation, when I'm done applying, I feel like my client still feels like her face is very heavy? When you decide what you want for texture, it is easier for you to purchase foundation. Most of you buy foundation because your face is using those foundation, and I think that's fine. You have people you look up to, you have people you admire in the industry. It's probably okay. But at the end of the day, if you buy foundation because your face is using it and you don't understand this foundation, it's really, really difficult. You keep on buying and you waste your money. So buy for this reason. What do you like? Do you like a client to look like themselves? You like a client to still feel like when you do foundation, the foundation is not heavy. So you want to buy foundations that are running. Can I get one fancy foundation? Anyone at all? You like one? I want to do the theory. You want to buy foundations that are literally running, that when you swipe, it is easy for you to like see the foundation. Now when you like foundations that are super, like when your client is wearing makeup, can you see how this foundation is literally almost getting to the end of the tray? It means that this foundation is a super runny foundation. It will not have weight. When you put it on your client, like you will still see her pores and her blemishes with this type of foundation. But if you like foundation that, give me the Huda Beauty, or if you like a foundation finish where once you put the foundation will not move. It will remain in this place for like 30 minutes. Now that means you like full coverage results. So once you understand which texture you fall under, it is easier for you to buy foundation. Now you're here to learn from me, and I'm going to show you my own technique. My technique is, I like foundations that are combination of both running and thick foundation. So when I combine these 2 foundations together, this is not what I'm using for the model. I'm actually just showing you what was the right word? I'm actually just showing you something so you can relate to what I'm trying to explain in general terms. So I like to mix both foundations together. One foundation must be thick, and then another foundation must be running. It gives me the kind of texture that I want. I hope that you wanted to ask a question. Someone asked.
Can I use the cotton pad instead of brush for the maroon toner?
Yes, you can. But when you're using a cotton pad, ensure that you are rubbing. Sorry, ensure you're not rubbing, rather you are patting.
I use sweat block and I still sweat.
Yes, sweat block does not stop you from sweating. Sweat block only makes you that when you sweat and you dry your makeup after you have sweat, your makeup goes back in place. That is what sweat block or sweat stop will do. don't tell your client that once you put sweat stop, they won't sweat again. No, that's not true. Once you put sweat stop, you still sweat, but even when you dry the makeup goes back. So we already spoke about, that's the only question.
I said I'm a lightweight foundation person.
Okay, then that's good. So if you're a lightweight foundation person, buy foundations that are running. Did you see that illustration I showed? The foundation that once you put, it feels like it's dripping. Perfect. That's the kind of foundation you want to do. So understand the texture. The texture will help your branding, which is what we're going to be talking about in our business class. You need to understand your niche, understand your branding. It makes it easier for you to buy, and you're not just buying whatever comes out in the market. Now, the second part of the foundation, getting your foundation right, is proportion. And I think this is one part that most starters in the industry do not like to do. When it comes to proportion is, we have decided that these two foundations, this is the V Beauty foundation though, is these are the two foundations I have in my box, and this is what I want to use. And this is actually what looks relatively close to my client's skin. I want to take this foundation in my portion tray. I want to also take this other foundation in my portion tray. Mind you, this is called a mixing tray because you want to mix. It is not meant to pop on top of each other. What do I mean by that? I see most people, when you just put the foundation on top. It's a risky move because you're not sure of the proportion you want to pick. So when we take this shade, we're taking a very portion and want to take a very small quantity from here. Watch this proportion. You can see that this quantity is more than this quantity. If I mix this foundation and go ahead to apply on my model, on this part, and a portion where I take this, can you see this quantity now is more than this quantity? Let's take to the other side. Now both are same foundation but would give you two different results. Am I making sense? So this is the major problem. Sometimes it's not like you don't have a good foundation, it's that you might be using the wrong proportion. Two makeup artists can use the same foundation but get two different results. That is where your experience, there is no makeup artist that is going to tell you the right thing. I like to be very practical and very honest. If I tell you to buy two foundations and you buy those foundations and you don't use the same proportion I use, you definitely get a different result from me. So I picked these two, and in a nutshell, I like this result more than this result. What does that mean? It means I have to take more of the darker one and less of the lighter one.
Can one use both Meron and Sweat Block together?
No, you have to use one of them at a time. Does that make sense on the foundation? Good. So let's move ahead. So this is the mixture I'm going to be using. I'll be using the 05 from the V Beauty foundation. And a little from 02 Doha. This is also V Beauty foundation. But because I really love a runny texture, I do not like a thick texture alone. Do you give me the Fenty? Just give me Fenty 3, 4, 350. I never use one brand of foundation. Yes, and that's because, like I say, my texture is very important. So V Beauty is not a bad buy, but at the same time, I also like a foundation that has long wear finish. Nigerian branded foundations do not have long wear finish. So I'm just going to go ahead now and put a little bit of my Fenty. Can you see just a little bit? And why am I adding this? Is just so that my texture becomes a little more runny. That's the only reason why I added this Fenty in the first place, just to loosen the foundation up a bit more. Now we're going to go ahead and apply on this other side. Do I have any question on foundation? Okay, that's good. So we're going to go now and blend this foundation. The main foundation in this tray is V Beauty. As you can see, V Beauty was the main foundation. The only reason why I incorporated the Fenty foundation is just as a result of loosening up to get my kind of texture. I like the glowy texture and then the glowy finish. I'm using my beauty blender from the Merek. This is from the Merek Beauty Sponge. And I'm just going to go ahead and pat. I like to apply my foundation in section. That gives me time for me to decide. What do I mean by time for me to decide? You know how you've already applied the foundation here and then I just decided that perhaps it was a little too dark or it's a little too light. Perfect timing for me to either add or reduce.
Okay, some foundation. Okay, this person said, what are the foundation shades again for the beauty?
Okay, the one I use rather on this model right now.
Yes.
Okay, so that was, please just take it and apply. Take it and show them then. I think it's BBT 05 Doha. And that reminds me, BBT has different brand. So this is the true, what's the name of this one? Long wear foundation, and so far this is like my best in her collection.
Number 2 Doha.
Yeah, so 02 Doha and
05 Cape Town.
yeah, 05 Cape Town. So I'm taking my time to blend out this foundation. Please give me Nia spray. There's something I would like to talk about, and that's like your beauty blender. Whenever you're using your beauty blender to blend your foundation, there are two types of blending technique. There is what we call, no, the other spray, not
The
the
shiny one.
not the shiny one, the blue one. There's what we call the swiping and there's what we call the patting. So when you swipe, it's because you feel like the product is already too much on a certain area. So let's say, for instance, sorry, let's say instance, I want to blend very more. Good. Now can you see this side? You feel like there's a lot of product here. It's not properly blended. And I want to like reduce that product. I would introduce by swiping for areas like that. Good. So once I'm done swiping and I like the result, then you want to go and pat to just secure your finish. So whenever I use a lot of Nigerian branded foundation, okay, just come and close. Whenever I use like a lot of Nigerian branded foundation in my mixing tray, I like to go in with setting spray so that it can actually help me to set the makeup. Like you say, I need something that's going to be more long wear. If I've used like US brand, sometimes I'll still go ahead and spray, but it's more optional. But when it's Nigerian brand, I try not to forget, I use a setting spray. This from the Nia Beauty, it's not hydrating, it's just going to set your foundation in to make it last longer. As soon as we're done with that, the next we want to take is our contour. And for contour, I'm using my favorite bad girl, which is the which is in black opal in the shade Coral. Yeah, Coral. And I'm just going to contour.
Okay, someone is asking, please, are we going to have access to recording of this video on Telegram after now?
No, it started stops a live video. So this video is going to be for this view. I will try to see if I can save it But so far, I don't think I can save a live video, except I'm just going to leave it open for everybody to view.
What do you think about the Nivea Beauty Primer Spray, the other one?
Yes, it's also a good one. So that's a good spray for when you want to set your prep.
Do you blend foundation on the eyelids?
No, there's no need for foundation on the eyelid. So when I contour my cheekbones down to mid of my brows, and then I stop there.
What's the difference between full coverage foundation and medium coverage?
There's a lot of difference, my darling. The first difference is full coverage foundation will cover spots, blemishes, and all that. Medium, my beauty blender, the one for foundation. Medium coverage foundation will not give you all the coverage you want. You want to take your time and maybe apply in 2 applications. I think for the one I did on the model today, I just did 1 application. And her blemishes, her birthmark, and all that is still showing, and which is fine. That is how I want it. I really do not want her foundation level to feel like it has covered all the birthmark, because powder will come on, concealer will come on. That's my brand, that's my signature.
Okay. So the contour stick you're using, is it coral or coral?
That's the thing. I think I like to misinterpret the name. It's Corab. There's a B at the end. Carob. Corab. So my contour technique is I like to just use the shade that is 1 tone, not 2 shades darker, because that just makes my blending easy.
Please, can you use your Huda Beauty Tantor and bronzer for her contour?
Sorry, can I do what?
Use your Huda Beauty Tantor and bronzer for her contour.
I don't think I relate to that question. Give me blush. So are you saying the Huda Beauty is a contour stick, or are you saying it's a foundation and you like to use for her bronzer? Please rephrase your question. Now, just so we proceed, while she rephrase her question, I'm going to be using this pink blush from. Oh, okay. So this is actually not an umbrella. It's actually a Beyond Beauty blush palette.
Is the Maybelline Super Stay Foundation too matte?
Yeah, it is matte and full coverage.
And can it be used for bridal gel?
No, it cannot. If you must use the Maybelline Super Stay, I highly recommend you mix it with foundations like L'Oreal, foundations that are really, really lightweight. Because once your foundation is very heavy, every other thing you put on your client will become very heavy. Set a bit to the side. So for my blush, if you do not know where to apply, tell your client to smile, smile first. So you're applying on the apples of your cheek. Apply just a very little fraction. Then while you're blending, do the movement. Mix your Maybelline Super Stay, please. Mix it with a lightweight. Remember what I talked to you about running foundation. So every brand or most brands have running foundations to their foundation table. Even Maybelline has like the Fit Me. The Fit Me is also a running foundation. So use foundation like that to add to the Fit Me so that it's the Super Stay, so that it can loosen up your product for you.
What is the name of the lip palette?
That's the Beyond Beauty. All along I thought it was an unbranded, but my bad. I just discovered that it's the Beyond Beauty cosmetic, and it's so good. It just helps me to blend super fast. Next up, we're going over to concealer, and I'm using the V Beauty concealer. Please give me the brush I need to apply foundation. Spray foundation. No, the one here is the one for brush. It's here. I know. So I'm taking my V Beauty concealer. See this concealer? V Beauty, she really tried. I used to be a fan of the Kevin Coin concealer because I just discovered that I like concealers that are not too thick and not too runny. They save me a lot of stress. So this concealer just does that for me.
What Nigerian brand foundation do you recommend for brides?
So for bride, I would highly recommend V Beauty and Sylvia MAC. Then buy FBH foundation to help you loosen. FBH foundation is very good. It's like a lightweight foundation, so it is very good to loosen up my V Beauty and Severe Mac. Mind you, Severe Mac is more full coverage than V Beauty. So if you must use Severe Mac, make sure you loosen them up.
Please, do you use Coral Black Opal stick on medium skin tones?
Yeah, medium skin to light skin tone, but it will not work for really dark skin tone.
And then you should please recommend shade for darker skin.
For the Black Opal is Ebony. So now we're concealing so we don't lose track of what we're doing. I'm concealing first with that shade. It's not so light. It's just like a shade lighter than my model. So it's not extremely light.
I make my skin prep matte, but my foundation is oily. Should I ditch it?
What final finish do you want? Do you want a matte final finish or do you want a glowy final finish? That's a question you should ask yourself. If you want a matte final finish, it means you have to ditch that oily foundation and get a matte foundation. But if you're looking for a dewy or a glowy final finish, it means that foundation works well for you.
So can I combine Silver Mac and L'Oreal?
Perfect. As a matter of fact, that is what most of us show you on the ground, that we actually have to combine the foundation somewhere. We don't just use the brand, even foreign brands, we don't just use one, no matter how good a brand is. Most time, once you introduce or incorporate another brand to it, it just has like a unique feel, like it gives like that unique vibe to it. So now I'm taking my really light concealer. This is from the Tarte concealer in the shade Medium Sand 34S. And for this, take note, I'm just applying in very tiny portions because what I want to do with this concealer is just to enhance brightening factor to this and not to conceal again.
This person said, Ma, I noticed that you did not take the liquid contour all the way to her forehead. Any reason?
And that's because contour reduces. If I take the liquid contour to her forehead, I'm literally trying to reduce her forehead, and then her forehead is not so humongous. That's the more reason why I didn't do that. But you have clients that you feel the need to reduce the forehead. You can just contour. My technique can contour like around.
What is the importance of applying concealer twice?
The importance is, the first one for me is just to be, or to show me that I'm on the right track and make sure that the concealer is not so bright. Then the second one is just to introduce brightness at certain areas. For instance, take a look at my blend. Now this concealer is not giving me the white cast all the way out. It's giving me, this is just bright at this area, and then the final finish is skin. Does that. So that's my tip.
Please, when you talk about serum, do you mean vitamin C serum, and which one will you recommend more?
Okay, so when it comes to recommending serums, I am more of a niacinamide type of serum person because that does like two work. It hydrates. For me, my serums are mostly hydrating because I really want more hydration than brightening. Your first time doing your makeup on your clients, your one-time serum will not make them brighter. So for brightening, your serum or your client have to continuously use those serum to get that brightening result. So I would recommend you to buy any serum that has niacinamide or that has anything that shows hydration instead of brightening. Okay, setting powder. So next up, I'm going to be setting, and I'm going to be using my Hourglass setting powder. We have very good Nigerian branded setting powders. I have a few in stock that the PR have been sent to me. I'm going to do my reviews first before giving. I don't like to leave people astray. I just like to tell you what I've used and have worked for me in the time past. So the ones I dropped on that look at this, Nigerian branded list should be what you want to pay attention to. This is the Hourglass setting powder. Now, if you're using the setting powder, please ensure any setting powder at all, when you go, apply as though you are afraid. Once you're done applying it, then you begin to press and push, press and push, press and push. Go ahead, your question.
Please, which Nigerian brand has light foundation?
Has light or nice foundation? What's the question?
Just light foundation.
A light foundation, like has good. Oh my love, V Beauty is the key. Like she just has this really light skin shade range that is amazing. Then Beauty by AD, I'm told that it has also good nice range. But like I said, I don't like to tell people things I have not tried personally. So I'm not going to. I will say no comment as to that. But for me personally, that I've used, I'm so good and keen with the V Beauty.
Can one use this V Beauty foundation and concealer for a bridal job?
I would recommend for the foundation, incorporate a little more of, add the L'Oreal, just buy a few of L'Oreal and add to your V Beauty, just so you're on the safe side for long wear. You know, one of the things that differentiates your regular makeup from a bridal makeup is long wear. That's what we don't tell you, long wear. So a bride is more tensed than a regular party guest. Bride needs all the product that is going to make their makeup last longer. Your steps and your process is almost similar to each other. But what makes my makeup, what makes me want to pay you for a bridal job is that I feel like my makeup should last longer than when I come to your studio as a party guest. So that's the more reason why for each time I keep insisting on investing more for brides, because US brand has a way, or foreign brand, let me not say US, because there are other countries that also produce products that are not US. Foreign brand has a thing of making your makeup last longer than Nigerian brand. So incorporate L'Oreal somewhere into your foundation. You can add L'Oreal, you can add Superstay, Maybelline, not the Superstay or the Fit Me, or just the foreign drugstore brands, because they will help you well. Then also, your foundation is not just the only thing for a long wear finish. You also want to incorporate in good prep and good setting sprays. They are your makeup break.
This person said she asked about the Cosmetic Power Seal and how to use it.
You're still using it just the same way you use your Meron, and you're using it as your sweat stop, just like a sweat stop for Meron.
Okay. What Nigerian brand of foundation can you recommend for dark skin?
Oh, that's a very good and technical question. So, so far in my research, I would say Bicham has very good dark skin range. Bicham Ageless. My only problem is that it's a bit too full coverage for my signature on my brown texture. And the reason why I can use them is because I incorporate them with other brands that they still work. Bicham is good. Then, Beauty, I think it's just number 9 and 10. Her other shades come off too red or too, would I use the word warm? Yeah, sometimes too warm. And me for dark skin, I like them to look more like themselves. I don't like the red or orange finish in my foundation. So, if you ask me, ever since I got my hand on Fenty, it's been working for me. But for starters, you can do the DBT 09, Sylvia Mac Butternuts. Combine those two shades together, they have a really good finish.
Okay. Can I use powder puff if I don't want to use beauty blender
To set
the under eye?
I prefer beauty blender because it will help you to bounce. Do you understand? So what we want is the bouncing technique where you place and you remove, place and remove. But for the puff, it's going to give you a direct place. So you already need to know the quantity and you're really sure about it to use a puff. But with blender, I feel like you can negotiate your way around. Just give me the Sephora for the under eyes and Fenty and our Makeup Forever.
Sephora bronze.
Yeah, Sephora bronze. So now after setting the highlighted areas, we also want to set with compact powder. I'm going to be using the Sephora, no this. I'm going to be using Sephora powder for the under eyes and the Makeup Forever in the shade 3K40, 3Y40. Then the Sephora powder in the shade bronze.
Is Meron stronger than Cosmetic Power Seal?
Yes, my love, Meron is stronger, way stronger. And aside from even stronger, Meron is lighter. That means when you put it on the skin, your client don't even feel heavy.
Can you use a compact powder to set under eye before using setting powder?
No, you have to use a translucent. I think I skipped to say that. Please make sure for light skin it is a translucent setting powder, because when it's translucent it means you're still going to see the color of your concealer, and it is much more lightweight. So what I'm doing is I'm tapping on both.
For concealer, what can you say about CPD concealers? Have you tried any?
No, I haven't. So I'm taking my time to set. Yes, then again, for your under eye setting powder, if you cannot do Sephora, which should be like the least, the very least, to get the best result, please do Milani. You have the Milani, you also have likes of powders that are lightweight.
I have a serious issue with a dark shade, especially during highlighting. What
Yeah.
concealer can you recommend for a dark skin person?
V-Beauty 07 and 08. Then there is this other, for me, if you want Nigerian brand, that's it. But if you want US or foreign brand, Tarte Concealer 53 is my perfect go-to for dark skin. What shade is this? So I'm using the Fenty powder in the shade 350.
Do you use sweat stop just immediately after cleaning with micellar water?
That's when I'm doing the bridal prep, yes. You do your sweat stop, apply all over, allow to dry, then go in with your hydrating setting spray to loosen up the sweat stop. So now I'm applying my powder and I'm just taking my time to apply all over. I'm intentionally avoiding the areas we already did the highlights, as you can see, because those areas, please look at it. Those areas already have powder, so I'm intentionally avoiding those areas.
Are foreign drugstore products better than our Nigerian products, or all our Nigerian products are regarded as drugstore? Do we have high-end Nigerian products? High-end.
Yes, we do have high-end Nigerian products, so we do. So that's the more reason why I made a mention into when I was saying V-Beauty, V-Beauty. I told you the particular V-Beauty to buy, and that particular one is the high-end V-Beauty. She has like 3 ranges of foundation, right? So this one I've been using so far in all my videos is the highest end of her foundation. Now the next question you come, it feels like you asked a 3 in 1 question. The next question you ask is if all foreign drugstore brands can be used for bridal. Not all. Now the reason is you have to understand your texture. Please understand the texture, understand the finish you want your client to have. There are some drugstore in the US that are very heavy, and if you do not like the heavy finish, you'll consider them banned. Some makeup artists like full coverage, so we're not disregarding any other Nigerian branded product because it doesn't suit my niche, doesn't mean it's not going to suit another person's niche. So we have high-end Nigerian products. We have the likes of Beauty by AD. We also have likes of, oh, that's just so that I don't forget. The next I'm going over to is the Fenty Beauty powder and the Sephora powder. I'm using this to contour my cheekbones. And then the reason why I like to use Fenty Beauty and Sephora is because they are more lightweight. But you can go ahead and use your powder palette if that's what's readily available. We're all just going to go over to the same.
Can I use Fenty powder to set under eye as well?
Yes, you can. Take it to the other side.
Can I use Daba Herbal spray instead of the yellow hydrating urban decay spray?
Of course
Do I
you
need
can.
both or they do the same thing?
They do the same thing, although Daba Herbal just has more subtle glow finish. Then the yellow spray has more revealing glow finish. So if that makes sense, it means one is more glowy than the other. The yellow one is more glowy. Daba Herbal is more setting and not a glowy finish.
Can I use BBT palette to set under eye?
Yes, you can, but it's not the best. I highly recommend at least Milani.
What's the benefits of eye cream?
The benefit of eye cream is to reduce under eye puff and under eye wrinkles. She doesn't have neither, that's why I didn't use it for her look.
Is the charm ageless powder good for both the under eye and round the face?
No, you can use it for under around the face, but please never use the charm for your under eyes. It's actually very heavy, so it would make your under eye appear super heavy. But it's a perfect shade for like around, and then their brown in their palette. Oh my god, it's so good for like contouring. Like I think so far that's like the best powder palette that works for contouring for me.
Why is it that big makeup artists don't use powder palette? They prefer to carry single powders.
Yeah, that's because most single powders, like I said, are formulated with texture to give us lightweight finish. Powder palettes are good, but they have more heavy finish. And each makeup artist have like a signature, like a brand. And I think I would have to even do the business class before the lightning class, because it is very, very important for you to start thinking of a futuristic plan for your brand. Not just about now. Think of what you want people to see and the message you want to impact in people when they see your work.
Yes, which powder palette do you recommend for us, Nigerian brand?
I think I did the beauty and I said Sylvia Mark and I also said the charm. Three of them is good, but they just have different finish. So if you're doing Bicham, buy a smaller Bicham because you want to really focus more on the dark skin shade, and then it has more of warmth. If you're doing V Beauty, she has really good medium tones. Then if you're doing Sylvia Mark, Sylvia Mark has very good light tones. So I just feel like none of them have it correct on their individual palette, but they all have their individual strengths, like what I just mentioned. So let's go over to the nose contour. So when I'm contouring the nose, especially for light skin, please do not start with the dark shade. Start with a lighter contour shade, if that makes sense. Remember, we're using two. So in your powder palette, you're using one dark one and one light one. Don't start with the dark one. Start with the lighter one, because the nose is like the fastest area to show the cakey impact. So you want to take your time. Remember, I don't do liquid contour on the nose, so my nose contouring for me is very, very precise. So starting with that, and I'm going to get out the bridge of my nose. Please suspend the question. As soon as I'm done with my nose contouring, then we can resume question. So take your time, and yes, before I forget, can you see my brush is very fluffy? Sorry about the noise, guys. I want to show you another brush. Now we have these two brushes. Brushes like this are too stiff. Please do not use stiff brushes like this for your nose contour. I personally prefer fluffy brushes because you can move around and blend at the same time. So this is application. Application is when you go and you pat. That is me pat. Now once you're done applying and you like the result, when you swirl around like you're going in circular rotation, is when you are trying to blend out what you've applied. So that's the more reason why I highly recommend this type of brush, because it can actually multitask the two results for you. So I'll take my time. I'm still using the lighter one, guys, the Sephora in the shade Almond. Please, I think this almond setting powder should be one setting powder you want to start buying for your light skin if you intend to start contouring. So once I'm done, I touch a little bit of my darker one and just get this nose bone. And that's it. Remember, the nose is one of the fastest areas that crack. So using good products around the nose just helps you get better results and a long way finish. Alright, so that's it for the nose contour. And we're going over to blush. For blush, we are going to go. I can respond.
I have RCMA settings powder and I don't know how to use it. Please, can you say something about it?
Okay. So before I say something about that, let me just go ahead and show you my blush. I'm using this Juvia's Place blush, the blush rose, and I'm taking this pink shade, this bold shade. I'm using this fluffy brush. If you do not know where to apply, tell your model to smile. Smile very well. Smile. Yes, more like it. So you want to tell your model to smile and take from the apple in circular rotations and go all the way out. So while you're smiling and while you're applying, mix it together with your contour. Does that make sense? So this way you already applied your contour. As you're taking it, you're mixing through. Together with this.
Please, ma, during the lightning class, will you be teaching us how to edit our pictures and video?
I actually do not edit pictures. I will show you how I merge my videos on Instagram.
Do you prefer a liquid contour or powder contour?
I use both. I use liquid contour and then go over with powder contour. But on the nose, I prefer only the powder contour.
Please, can we use RCMA setting powder as translucent powder for light skin?
Yes, for light skin. That's why I wanted to talk about the person who asked about the RCMA. RCMA is also a very good translucent powder, but my only problem is that it leaves the whiteness is actually a bit too strong. But it is recommended on light skin. You can use them on light skin. It's a good one. Just follow my technique, my application technique, where I say apply as though you are afraid, and all is well.
Please, what is the brand and number of the loose contour brush now?
Sorry? Okay,
What is the brand?
Okay, the brand
and
that I
number.
use. That's from Just of. Oh, I'm trying to look for it. Did I hand it over to you? Okay, sorry.
So, 2 months ago.
So this is from the Just of blending brush in the shade 217. I hope you got that right. Okay. Now this one I use for the blush is also from the Just of brush set. In fact, 70% of my brushes are actually from the Just of and the Big Cabell brush set together. I want to try the Younger Beauty brush set, but as soon as I'm done trying that, I'll leave my review alone. But so far, those are like my two best brushes that work so well for me. As soon as I'm done with that, we want to set the makeup in, and I'm going to be going in using the setting spray from the Nia Beauty. Once it's spray, allow that to dry properly. So while we're waiting for it to dry, do I have any more questions? I'm using this again.
I didn't get the name of the setting powder.
Which of the setting powder? The translucent?
No.
The translucent setting powder. The one I use for her, is the Hourglass setting powder in the shade Veil. This is what it looks like, the Hourglass, yes, in the shade Veil. But the one we're about to use now is the Huda Beauty, and I think it's a personal favorite. But you can use any one in your collection. V Beauty is also a good one. Merek, she's good too with the setting powder. Alright, so now we want to bake. For baking, you have to use the final result. So if I feel like my under eye is too bright, this is the time I'm going to use a setting powder that is going to give me the final tone I want. So I'm using the Huda Beauty in the shade Kunafa. They are good Nigerian branded setting powders that can work for this. We have likes of Gentle Dough. Gentle Dough is actually very underrated. Their setting powder is so good. Then Merek is also good too. We also have likes of V Beauty. V Beauty, I like her colored setting powder and her translucent, but she doesn't really have this yellow looking powder. And I like that yellow looking powder for light, medium to light skin.
The Nia setting spray, is it the matte or dewy spray?
I don't think they have a dewy finish. They only have the regular setting spray, and then they have the primer spray. So it's the one with the blue. Is this a blue? Yeah, this is like the light blue case. That's the one I like to use now. So So when I am baking, I only bake under the eyes. I do not bake here. I do not bake here and the other part of the face, because I really just want the light when I'm making my videos and all that. Just this part here to be bright. I don't want every other part dragging for attention, if you understand what I mean. So we're going over to the brows. We're 50% done with this look. And for brows, the first thing you want to do is quickly with the brow brush and hand pouch. Then come and clear this stuff.
So we need more than one translucent powder.
Yes, my love. You need minimum 3. You need translucent powder and then minimum 2 colored setting powder, 1 yellow and then 1 brown.
What about our setting powder?
Okay, I've not used it honestly, so I can't tell. First thing first, we're going to clean up the brows, and I'm using my wax.
Now, what do you think about Kids Beauty Spray?
Yeah, Kids Beauty Spray is a good one. It's, I think it's just the first thing every makeup artist who is starting small can actually get at the time. But if you ask me, I'll tell you, if you can go higher, buy the Mia. But if you have the Kids Beauty, you use it in place of when I use for the Mia. It's just a setting spray. It's not going to make your makeup last long or anything. You're just going to set your makeup in and break it down into smaller bits and make your makeup feel lightweight.
What can you say about baking below the cheekbone, jaw, and around the lips?
It just creates too much density on making your cheek or your client cheeks look more defined. So still going to boil down, or still going to take me back to when I say you need to know the branding you are creating for yourself. I think so far from questions that I've received from a few of us, we really need to hear that branding class, that business class, because I think it's one of the things that will shape us to understanding the niche you want to create. So you register for my class doesn't mean you want to use exactly what I've used. Do you understand? Like you want to understand products, not times, not season. Understand why you're using the product. It makes your job so easy.
Please, does the Nia Beauty Spray give a matte finish?
No, it just gives a regular setting finish. It's not going to look matte. It's not going to give you any shiny finish. It's just going to set your makeup on for you.
About setting powder is bad. Okay.
What do you say?
No, I think someone is answering about about
What did
setting
the person
powder.
say?
About setting powder is bad. It doesn't blend in. Please don't buy.
Okay, thank you.
I heard silver mark is too matte, and if one needs to use it, one should not really prep too matte. What do you think?
Good, exactly what I say. Silver mark is it's not that it's too matte. That's the wrong narrative. It's not like it's matte. Because even if you use it on a really dewy finish, the truth of it is that it's a full coverage foundation. So full coverage foundation tends to get very heavy once you apply. Do you understand? So that's the more reason why I say if you must use foundations like that, I highly recommend you to mix. Just like you saying the Huda Beauty foundation is too thick. It's not too thick. It's made in that formula to be thick. That's how it's made. So if you must use the Silvia Mac foundation, I highly recommend you. The secret is mixing it with a lightweight foundation. Just mix it. Don't use the foundation alone. If you mix Silvia Mac foundation with, let me tell you this. Let me give you one secret. I pay for this class here. Mix Silvia Mac foundation with FBH. Can you show them that FBH foundation, the one in that tube? Come back and thank me. Even if you don't have money to get L'Oreal, just buy it with that FBH. I promise you, you will come back and thank me. You see this FBH, they're not hyping it, and I think it's because she doesn't want to go the right route to pay proper people for influencing. But you see this foundation, it's actually a very good one. If you mix this foundation with your V Beauty, or you mix it with your Silvia Mac, come back and take it. Alright, so for the brows, after applying your tamer, please ensure Careful. Sorry guys. Ensure you apply the tamer. I'm sorry about the noise. Okay, sorry about the noise. Ensure you apply your tamer in the direction you want your brows to go. Now that's the more reason why I say I do not like to carve my brows, because in natural term, when you put your tamer, the natural hair stroke is not going to look too sharp. It's just going to flow naturally. Alright? If you now have clients that their brows is too bushy, instead of brushing it up, I recommend you to tilt it down. Bend it, don't brush it up if you have clients that the brows is actually so bushy. Now let's go back to eyeshadow. For eyeshadow, I'm going to be using, I don't know why I got this one. And please clear this stuff from this table so I can have space. It feels like you're missing rich people's question. Be going down. You can come, let me show you. Yeah, no, that's the thing. You just swipe. Just swipe like this so that you can actually. This would make me not go back to responding to messages later. So please, when you're done, go back and continue for what we stop. Now next, we're going over to eyeshadow, and I'm using the Bicham Ageless Eyeshadow Primer. This primer is one good thing Bicham has done in the Nigerian market space. Yes, I said it. Because the primer is not too thick and it's not too watery, like it's just the best placement. So you want to place it on your eyelid. Do not extend it further up. Once I'm done placing, I take my wipes and I clean the brush that I use in applying it. Ensure to clean the brush properly. Focus that brush now on the area where the primer ends. To blend out that line, I want to show you something. Now, can you see the blending technique of this? My eye primer is different from this. Please, can you see it? Good. Now, the blending technique, you have to blend out that line. If you go ahead and not blend out that line, it's good as you're creating a cut place. But if you're creating my type of eyeshadow technique, I always go back and blend out that application line you can see there, just so that your eyeshadow gives you a more flawless blend.
Please, any Nigerian brand for translucent powder?
Mera, DBT, they are very good. Like my top right now.
I'm guessing that answered the question. So what about Mirac?
Alright,
This person said, when is the business class?
That will be tomorrow. It was actually meant to be on Wednesday, but I just figured that the videos would just pop in tomorrow. All the videos will pop in tomorrow, so that we'll just allocate Wednesday to people who are going to be sending videos of their exam and practical. So let's continue. I like to go back with my brown to blend. It's a natural thing, like I don't know, but it's something that I always do. Sorry.
Okay. Contour. What is the contour brush you use?
One brush in particular, the one I use.
Wet contour brush you use.
Oh,
I think blush.
okay. Yeah, that's the creamy one, I believe. It's from the Jessup brush set, MUL02. It's like a very slant brush.
Can I get a foreign translucent powder and the shade for light and dark skin?
Check your list. I dropped all the names of the translucent powder I use. Hourglass is there, Huda Beauty is there. Those are like foreign brands, and those are the brands I use, and I just showed you now.
Please, what is the name of the brow tamer, and is it a foreign brand?
No, it's a Nigerian brand. That's from the Vinest Beauty. It's a Nigerian brand actually, and it's so good. Vinest and TM Essential, they're like my top best for brow tamers right now. So let's proceed. The brush you want to use in applying your brown should not be the brush you want to use in blending. So you need to have two blending brushes. One to do the application, and then another one to just help you blend out.
FBH, what are the mustache shades?
03, 04, 06 for dark skin. 01 if you have like super light clients. If you don't have super light clients, you can skip 01. But see 03, 04. If those are your two shades you want to start with, then you can now begin to progress into the other. So next up, I'm taking this shade from the... Hi guys, please just let me know if you're back on, so that I can just continue. Alright, so we're going to proceed. I'm using this shade from the Beauty, and I'm just going to use it all the way out.
Please, can you recommend the Nigerian setting spray matte finish?
That's like the Sopro and Jonas. Can you help me with this palette here? So next, I'm going to take the darker shade now. Please open your eyes.
What's
You want to open, tell your client to open their eyes so that you can be sure that you are applying the dark shade at the point you want it to be. Please open your eyes. So what's the what?
What's the effect? What effect does the two foundation give, please?
Please elaborate your question. I don't understand what you mean by what effect does the foundation give.
Please, can you recommend a Nigerian setting spray that gives matte finish?
Are you talking about product like Sopro for long wear finish? Because most Nigerian branded foundation are actually either in the dewy finish or just in the regular setting finish, and those are the ones I just mentioned. Please give me the other palette from the Beauty. Oh, from yes, give me that one. Yeah. So next up, I'm going in now with my main shade, and I'll be using this shade from the Mauve Jacqueline Hills. So you want to take a flat brush, a fluffy flat brush this time around, and you want to take the color, pat and swipe at the same time. So this is what it means, pat and swipe. So when you take the color and you pat the color, to be sure that you put it, you want to just move it a bit so that the shiny sparkles can show. If you're creating matte eyeshadow, which is what we're going to be creating after we have taken this out, remember I'm showing you how to switch look. I will show you how to also pat. But for this look, you want to pat and swipe. Once you're done swiping, you want to also go in now and apply any color of your choice. I'm just going to go in with this shade and use it to blend my brown and my bronze shade together.
Please, what's the name of your tamer?
Vinest Brow Tamer.
Please, what brush are you using to apply your eyeshadow primer? Is it flat?
Yes, the flat, dense brush.
What type of setting powder is good for dark skin, both for setting and baking?
What type? Brown setting powder and shade, or are you talking of brown? Black pencil, open your eyes please.
Type. So what type?
So please let the person react to that later. Do you want us to tell you the brand, or you're asking for the color? If it's for color brown, please, you have to use color close. Open your eyes. Color close to the skin tone. I am using the Beauty. No, this is not Beauty. This is from the Mera. Sorry, Marble. Open your eyes. The Marble black pencil. Ensure that it is very sharp, because the sharper, the better the black comes out. For likes of Beauty, Mera, Polar Beauty, they are so good, so I've used them, and that's why I kept on calling their name mistakenly. Now, mind you, if you're doing a switch in look, let's say for instance, open your eyes. For instance, you have a client in the morning, and then you know that there is not enough time Yes. For when you want to set or change the look for much later. I highly recommend that for the under eye here, don't smoke the eyes. Just line it and leave it this way. Do you understand? Don't apply color so that there will be a difference, there will be a change when you want to do your second look.
Please, can you recommend a foreign brow tamer?
Anastasia Beverly have this brow soap that is good. Then they also have the benefits.
Is brow tamer highly necessary or we can use it as optional?
It is very necessary if you want to achieve my kind of brows. Alright, so 10 for.
Wait, oh, Mirac now have a translucent powder.
Yeah, the ginger is always the translucent. That ginger shade is being the translucent powder. Alright, so let's stop. I'm going in with my blue.
Please share the name of the eyeshadow primer again.
The Charm Ageless.
Can you use the Ben by
Benign.
Clown
Yes.
white as
Primer.
back for shimmer or pigment?
Yes. For pigment, that's a primer, not the pigment glue. So now I'm taking my pigment and I'm using this MK pigment in the shade Cara. Then I'm also taking this yellow one.
Please, what are the two shades of setting powder that you said is a must have?
Two shades, brown and yellow. From any brown. Brown and yellow. It can be from any brown. Me in particular, I use the Huda Beauty. But you have likes of Merac, you have likes of Big Beauty. They work well too.
Please, what effect does the F8 foundation and Silver Night foundation gives?
It's a medium tone. When you ask for effect, I think you've asked this question before. Is the person asking what texture do they give? Do they give like a full coverage texture? And then the answer to that is that it's a medium coverage. So it's not too thick and it's not like my perfect consistency. Where you can still see the glowy effect, but at the same time, it gives you coverage to your desired look.
Is the ELF foundation good? The one in the short bottle.
I'm not the ELF, so I can't give my take on that. Alright, so now that we are almost done with our look, we'll just go in with our eyeliner and do our brow.
I have used Soap Pro and the finish on a client with only skin. It's not really giving. It makes the skin look sweaty, or could it be my application?
Yes, you're too close when you apply your soap pro. That's number one. Number one, you're too close with your application of the soap pro. Soap pro, you need to give a bit of gap. Don't go too close. Then I also discovered that soap pro is actually a bit too oily these days. Like the spray pump comes out too much. So you have to also know how to control your hand while you are spraying. I'm going in with the Sevilla gel liner in the shade black, my latest favorite. And I'm going to use it to line.
Please, what eyeshadow palette would you recommend?
I'm a lover of eyeshadow, so when it comes to eyeshadow, I buy a lot of eyeshadow. A lot. I like mauve, I like Huda Beauty, I like Patrick Tar, I like Big Beauty for Nigerian brand, Sylvia Mark. Then Blossom was also a good one. But my problem with Blossom is that it was just too pigmented for this. Just stop it. Now it's my sound. It was just too pigmented for the matte one, but the shimmer one didn't really give me all the necessary bust my head kind of vibe. So V Beauty, for me, the Muff is like my number one. Juvia's Place, my number two. Huda Beauty, my number three. Patrick Ta, my number four. Nigerian brand V Beauty, Sylvia Mark, Bicham, and what's the first one? Blossom. These are palettes I can't remember. Now we're done with the eyes. We're just going to go ahead now and set the other part of our makeup and go over to our brows.
Is Taylor gel liner good?
Black gel liner.
Taylor.
So good. I bought that. I first forgot it for PR. That's free. A free one was sent to me. And after I used it, I started buying it back to back. I stopped even buying my own gloves because it's affordable yet it's very effective. So I'm going in with the powder we used for setting the under eyes. So I'm just taking my time to set. Then I'm going to go back again with my powder. So it's like me just repeating everything we did at the very initial stage. Give me when you're doing this, please don't say, oh, I've contoured, let me not apply on my contour again. No, please apply your powder everywhere except your under eyes, because we just applied under eye powder for the under eye. So then apply powder for the powder area. Next is contour. So I'm going to go back again. Like I said, it's a repeat of everything we have done before, except blush. Blush will now be the last thing when we are done with the brows. Now we're going back to the eyebrows. From this one, so I'm using the MacBook brow pencil. Doesn't have shape. And you want to just go now and stretch your line. Sketch your line. I want to zoom in so that you can see better. You create the bottom line, and then we go ahead now to create the top line. Now when you're creating the top line, I intentionally booked this model so you can actually see that she doesn't really have hair at the end of this brow. You want to create the line as though you are still going straight, but you are turning. So it's like I'm going straight, but my hand is tilting down. Good. So regardless of whether she has hair or not, it doesn't really matter. You really want to fill in that brow. So we're going to do the same sketch on this side too. Like I said, you sketch it as though you're going straight, but you're turning your hand down to meet. Once you've gotten the both of them at their meeting point, it's now time for you to start creating your sketch, or rather your stroke. So you want to just create invisible strokes. To do this, ensure that your pencil is very sharp. For the sharper the pencil, the more natural the brows will look. Once I've gotten the beginning part of my brows just the way I like it, now I begin to shape the ending part of my brows. I mostly don't shade this part of my brows for clients that already have hair. You know, there are some clients that, like I see, she has hair from here to here. It just feels as though this is the part that is empty as county. So that part that is empty as county is where you want to go ahead and stroke. And that's it. So once you're done, take the other part of your brush and blend everything together. Now to make that more effective, I'll be going in with my Higa and Esther gel liner. And I'm only just using, this is in the shade Toffee. I'm only just using this gel liner to just revisit that first stroke line. And you're doing that because you want it to be more defined after you conceal. That's like the sole aim of doing that. Next up, I'm concealing, and I'm using my concealer palette from the FBH. I'll pick a shade that is almost like a shade, which is this shade. And then we'll just go ahead and clean the brown.
But what do you think about the Beyond eyeshadow primer?
It's a bit runny. It's not bad, but I still prefer the Charm Less over it.
But what can you say about more foundation?
Morph foundation. I've actually not used it. Personally, I don't think I've used the Morph foundation, but I still think I have better foundations over the Morph ones. It's Makeup by Mario. As soon as I'm done applying that concealer, I'm just going to take my brush and blend. So one of the techniques for me doing brows after eye work and everything is because the moment you put that brow tamer, it just makes it easy for you to see where the hair is. Once you stroke your up and you're down, fill in the inside. That's literally it. So for me, I've discovered that it's even a bit more easy and it gives me the very natural looking brows. So you just take a brush that does not have anything. When I was using this brush, there was nothing, but can you see the more time I started going over it, it started just blending and mixing everything for me in. So please don't use a brush that has anything on it.
For the pigment glue, should we allow it to dry before applying the pigment?
No, you apply it almost immediately. You just want to start with the brush you want to use in applying the glitters first before touching on the glitters.
What is the best foreign product for setting powder?
Right now, I like the Hourglass. Then for baking, I like the Huda Beauty. Okay, so we are almost getting to the end of this look, and we're done with the eyes. We're done with the eyes. We're going to be using now our lashes, just to give all the. And I'm using these chi lashes. I like to measure and see if I like my lash result first before I do. I always do this. Yes, this just helps me to know the pattern because they have different lash styles. There are wing lashes, there are lashes that are long from the beginning and long at the end. There are lashes that are short from the beginning and short from the and long at the end. So you need to test these lashes and what look they will give you even before you put your glue. If you don't used to do it now. Test the lashes, compare them, compare the fitting is giving your model or your client. If you like the result, sorry. What happened? I want to touch on. Okay. Now we are finished. We are going to the final part of this look, which is our bronzer, our blush, and the almost finished part. So I'm just going back with my blush again. And then we'll do our bronzer again. I'm doing the MAC bronzer in the shade Gold Deposit. I've had this bronzer for like 3 days, so I'm actually checking if it has expired. And it obviously hasn't because I've had it for like the longest.
Would you advise we buy the V-Beauty Combat Single Powder Palette?
I advise you buy their single powder palette, single compact, true, than their palette, honestly.
Please, what's the pigment you use for the eyeshadow palette?
Cara, for the eyeshadow, right?
Yes.
Cara from the MK and what's that? That's a brand.
Someone has even answered. MK Glitters.
Yeah, MK
Shadow, shade Cara.
Cara.
Concealer palette from where?
FBH.
Rephrasing my question for setting powder, you said translucent powder should be used for light skin and baked with the other type of setting powder. Basically, yellow for dark skin. What should be used?
Sorry, yellow for light skin, not yellow for dark skin. So yellow for light skin and then brown for dark skin. For the dark, let's say I'm working on a really dark model, like the video sent, I did not use translucent powder when I set her under eyes. I used a colored setting powder. So that's what I mean. For light skin, yes, you must be translucent, but for you see those really dark skin people, you cannot use translucent, you have to use a colored setting powder for them. A brown colored setting powder, depending on the brand you're picking. So let's say you're picking Merek now, you want to either do, what's that brown name again? I've not had it for a while. I think is it cinnamon or nutmeg? Do you understand? If you're doing V-Beauty, yes, V-Beauty is sweet honey. So you cannot use the white colored one for your dark skin when you're doing your transition. Even for transition and baking, it has to be the brown color because that's like the final color you want to actually see. Just give me fancy blanket. So after my MAC, the MAC just helps me with like skin glow, while the Fenty bronzer just helps me with the sparkle part of my shine.
Does Nia spray and Sopro setting spray serve same purpose?
No. Nia is a setting spray. Sopro is a long wear mattifying spray. I think so far in this look, the only high-end spray that I've used is the one for the hydrating. That's like the only high-end spray I've used. But so far I've been using the Nia spray.
So much the brows are so fast, yet clean. God friend.
Yes, it's actually so simple because your tamer has actually done the work for you. Your brow pencil should just be sharp. Like you know how you have that pencil that is so sharp that it feels like it's piercing your life. It needs to be crystal sharp. And then this marble pencil is so easy because once you apply once, it just comes out. You don't have to go back and be shading and shading and shading again. Just your first stroke, you just get it right. So that's the more reason why I invest in it because it's expensive and it still gives me that result. Alright, so next up we're going over to cheek glaze and lips. So let me get my lip pencil and then my lipstick. Do you have any? Please, can I use Merek setting powder for both baking and setting? Yes. Is this live being recorded, please? This is where you stop. There's still a lot more questions. So. What can you say about ELF foundation? It feels like you're skipping questions.
No, you said you answered that one. You say you don't use it.
Oh, okay.
It's a sleep not our supermodel. You're sleeping, they've cut your camera. Okay, please, what are the best foreign setting powder for dark skin? Huda Beauty, my love. Huda Beauty is so good. You see that cinnamon bun is so good. Then you want to do L'Oreal Honey for their baking process. My experience with concealer palettes, specifically the Flawless Ivy with Tonia collaboration, is really difficult to blend. Will you still advise I use it for brows? Because honestly, I feel it's difficult. Now, first thing you want to discover is it that it's too thick. If the concealer palette is too thick, then when you take it on your hand, beat it very well. Like make it really, really light. I think it's better when it's too thick than when it's too light. When the concealer palette is too thick, you can like loosen it up. Sorry about that. But when the concealer palette is too watery, that's where there's a problem. You have to change that concealer palette and get a concealer palette that is a bit thick. But if it's difficult for you to blend, please just find something really easy. Is this live being recorded, please? I doubt it's going to be recorded because it's a live video. If it's going to be recorded, it means I'd have to open it for public consumption. If you do not mind that, I can leave it open for public consumption, so you can come back anytime and view this live recording. But for the purpose of it's a paid class, I do not think it's going to be recorded. But if after the class and I notice that it's being recorded and it's going to be tailored to only people who have paid for this class, I would leave it on. But like I said, if you don't mind me to leave it open, who am I? Please, can I use Merek setting powder for both baking and setting? Yes, my darling, you can actually use Merek setting powder for baking and setting. Just ensure that you follow my technique, number one. Number two, the powder you use after the setting is also very important. Invest in Sephora or Milani to the very minimum. So client will tell you I have 20 minutes for makeup. So what do you do with such clients? They don't come to me because you cannot achieve makeup with such 20 minutes. Brows was so fast yet clean. God now. Put it into action, my sister. Practice makes perfect. Please, I didn't get that part. Did you start concealing the brows from the beginning of the brows? No, I do not conceal my brows from the beginning part of the brows. I start concealing my brows from halfway here, just so that it makes my work really easy. Please, beauty blend, I'm waiting for that. That's why I'm taking time to respond. Celine, honestly speaking, I'm currently struggling with my brows. Brows has been a struggle for everybody. I must tell you, it's just you need to give it all the time necessary. My brows have good days and not so good days. We all get that too. So can you see what happened after finishing my brows? I took a step back to evaluate. I noticed that part was not dark enough. I went in and made it dark. So those are the things you want to put into consideration when you're doing the brows. Please, what can you say about Mismetic highlighting balm? This is what I'm about to use now. I think it's so good, but the problem is that most of these highlighting balms for clients that have very oily skin can make them appear quite oily. So when you are using, please want to use very little portion. Take it and reduce at the back of your hand before going ahead to apply. That's number one. Number two, apply this balm only on the bone. I some people, they'll tell their client to smile. Please smile. If you tell your client to smile, you're indirectly applying it here, and by the time you do so, oh yeah, don't smile again. It feels like there's a patch. So instead of applying it on the smile part, please just tell her to move her face to the side for you and apply at the outer part. Then I also love it on the forehead area because it just gives like that glass finish. But reduce the quantity, please, because this can actually make your makeup get oily with time, even after you have used soap.
If I do my brows first, I get it, but since this doing brows last, it doesn't come out well.
Okay, so the thing is, when you do brows last, you have two results: either to get a very natural finish, or you just want to be super fast. If doing your brows first before your skin works for you, my love, you're building a brand. You're building a brand. Build your brand for what you want people to remember you for. Find your way around it.
Please, is the ELF brow thinner good?
Okay, I think ELF is a great product, so I feel like the brow thinner should also work, but I've not tried it.
V Beauty concealer palette. I got it last week and it do dry, honestly.
Okay, so if it's dry, that's a good thing because you need a matte yet shimmery palette for your brows. Once you take it out of your palette, don't use it directly. Put it on your hand and you know what you want to loosen up something. Loosen it up before you need to conceal. It's better it's matte than it's being too oily.
Ma, how can we clean the black liner when it stains the face while applying?
What part of the face? Like somewhere on the face? If it's somewhere on the face, my darling, the only thing that you can do at that point is to either get the foundation shade of that person and put over that black liner and set it again with powder.
Yeah,
but if it's around the eyeshadow, just use your eyeshadow to cover it.
So suggesting we leave it open or
Okay, so I should leave it open so everybody can actually watch it. Okay, that's fine. I will do that.
what's the difference between baking and setting?
Setting is the first thing you apply directly under your eyes immediately after your concealer. So setting is in two stages. You set first with your translucent setting powder before setting with an actual powder. So because it is the first thing that touches your concealer, you have to be very paramount on the quantity of the product that gets. Because when the product is too much and it clips, it's going to be very heavy and it will never move again. Now baking is the final result. Let's say that's the final thing you're going to see under your eyes. Did you notice that by the time I used the yellow setting powder under the eyes, when I was applying my powder to blend my under eye, I didn't really take a lot of time. That's as a result of me using a proper, the color is what I want. If I'd used maybe like RCMA that is white, it means that the under eye, I would struggle with using the color powder for the under eyes. So baking in essence is doing two things. It's going to help you fall out for eyeshadow and it's also going to retain the final color of your day. That's my take on baking and setting. So any more questions?
What about Maybelline Fit Me Combat?
Compact powder?
Yes. Is it nice for under eyes?
No, I think for my under eye, I like any powder that is lightweight. So if you've tried your Maybelline and your Maybelline is lightweight, what I mean lightweight, it's not heavy, it's not cakey, then it can work. But anything that is heavy for my under eyes, I run away. I run like my life depends on it.
How many minutes is ideal to achieve a good makeup look?
1 hour 30 minutes. Sometimes 1 hour, depending on how fast you are. But 1 hour 30 minutes.
Some clients come with already prepped skin and won't let me come.
So that's risky because you don't know if their prep would work with your foundation and I'm using the Maybelline Super Stay lipstick in the shade 10 and 65. But I just do the 10 first. So for the part where you say your client comes in with prep skin, it's one thing first for you to build trust. So clients who trust you enough will allow you to take it off because they know they don't want to play with how much they have paid. So you want to advise them or tell them how long will their prep last with their makeup. So you will not be held responsible if anything goes wrong with the makeup in the course of the day. But I recommend you, instead of them applying the prep already on their face, they should just come along with it. You see it and see that it meets your criteria. If you meet everything you need, then go ahead and use their own prep on them. It saves you your own product.
Can I use the correct snail Sin essence as serum?
Oh yeah, that snail product is good, but I just feel like it's a bit too much. So you have to just work with reducing quantity. Do you understand? You're working with snail mist, you just use in very small portion per time.
Can TM Essential Cheek Glaze give same effect as Miss Metti?
Hell no! TM Essential is actually it's so shiny, like the shiny proportion is too much. So it is very risky. I bought like a lot and it made me stop using and started using Vinest because it was just too shiny. But good enough, when Miss Metti came out, it was like my safe heaven and I was good to go. So for me, it's a hell no.
Please, can you recommend any foreign universal highlighter balm that is
Please,
equally
Danny
good?
Samarix. If you want to buy, just buy Danny Samarix for foreign. Next up, I'm with one, don't worry, I'm one of the lashes I'm with. Next up, we're going to set the face. I'm using my, for long lasting finish, we're going to be using the Urban Decay. And I think this is the question most of you have been trying to ask me but do not know how to ask. Is there a matte finish setting spray? Now the truth is, most of these long lasting sprays are not written matte, they are written long lasting. Then some of the brand will tell you how long lasting it will be. Some will tell you 8 hours, some will tell you 12 hours, some will tell you 10 hours. Like this is written long lasting makeup setting spray, up to 16-hour wear, lightweight. Are you getting it? It's lightweight. So this kind of setting sprays cannot be the same thing as this type of setting sprays. These are heavy, these are lightweight. And so far so good, there is no Nigerian brand that can actually tell us they do this. Most of the Nigerian brands that I know would only just give you regular setting spray. So this is the more reason when I said your sprays take a longer, like they play a major role when you're doing your makeup. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? So if I use my if I use this Nia Beauty setting spray at some point, but because I really need her makeup to last long, I also have to incorporate this in it. So I know it's expensive, but because of the long lasting feel you want, you definitely need to introduce, either you're introducing this or the Charlotte Tilbury or any foreign brand that is written 10 to 16 hours long wear, just for certainty. Now once I'm done with that, I will now go in with my Silk In.
What Nigerian products will you recommend for lip liners?
That's the one I like to use. That's the Devilosta. Devilosta is like my go-to. So once you're done with your sealing, that's not it. Remember, you want your makeup to last really long. For me, I go in again with my Jolas. So the Jolas is super strong. It's actually way stronger than this. It's way stronger than the Soap Pro Sealing. So I always like to put that last. Even likes of the there's this particular one that was trending, Ferrari Seal. You know those really long lasting sprays. You can apply them in two. You can apply both at the same time, and then I just use my pouch to press in the spray and make sure it is locked in. Now once you do this, you are rest assured that all the prep has gone in. Nothing is going to be on your pouch or on your tissue paper. Now we're going to go over to our lashes. Any more questions?
Can you use same products for both set and baking?
What do you mean same product for both set and baking? I mean you're trying to say for the setting powder, right?
Yes.
Okay, yes, you can use same product if you're working on a dark skin. You can use same product. But when you're working on a light skin, if you're working on a light skin, the white one might look white when you want to bake. That's the more reason why we highly recommend you to use the colored one, like a yellow one or a nude shade one. So when you want to apply your lashes, you want to hold it in the middle.
For sure.
Yes, you want to hold it in the middle. Make sure your model's eyes is not closed. Open your eyes. They're just looking down. Yes, look down and then place in the middle. That technique is the deal. Make sure your model's eyes is not closed. They are only looking down. Once they look down and you place your glue, the glue will hold naturally. And you just adjust the beginning and the ending. And that's literally it.
Can I use a small fluffy brush to set under eye, hence I don't want it too much?
Yes, you can use. I use the small fluffy brush. Now this is it. This is what I use. This is from the Viange, and then it doesn't have a name. This is the setting brush. Look, small brush that I use. This is from also the Gesso. Can you see it? So for the under eyes, it's highly recommend that I highly recommend that you go in with smaller brushes as opposed to bigger brushes. Okay. Alright, now that we put the matte and everything, if you want to leave your lip matte, you can, but I'm a glossy girl, so I'm going to just go ahead and show you how I like to gloss my lip. I like to go in with the nude shade. That's the final shade I want you to see. So I'm taking this shade from the, what brand is this? Beauty Line by Gigi. Yes, in the shade Glaze. As soon as I was done with that, I'm also going to be going in with this peach shade. I'm just going to put this peach shade directly under. So this is my technique. My gloss finish, that means the gloss that I want you to see, will be in the inner part. Then you take your transparent gloss, your clear transparent gloss, and then apply over the brown. This mascara. We are almost coming to the end of this look. As soon as you apply mascara, and that will be the end of this look.
What happens when the client says, let's say when putting lashes, then the face gets thin with the lower eyeliner and all?
That's
what
the more
can you
reason,
do?
This is the more reason why you see this liner, all the things I told you about liner, buy them, number one. Number two, before you put lashes, please do your sprays, especially your Sopro spray and all that, because that is going to help you in case of tears or anything and will not damage anything for your makeup. But in a case where there is already a dent, please give me tissue. I want to use a case. In the case where there is already a dent with your look, let's say there is already tears, all you want to do is take your tissue. I prefer tissue, not cotton pad. So this is what I do with my tissue pad. I bend it this way and then I begin to roll. So you fold into this shape, and then you want to just section it to the place where there is a tear. Take out the tears. First thing first, take out the tears. Once you take out the actual tear, allow it to dry. Once it's dry, set again with powder and you're good to go. It can never be like when there is no mistake. It can never be like that, but you are safe than sorry.
What do you think about applying a bronzer on the cupid's bow of the lips before lipstick application?
I feel like it's just too ceremonious, but if you like it, why not? If not, that just helps you to define the actual cubic bow. Well, like I said, it's a bit too ceremonious for me. I used to do it back in the day, but I just figured that it was so, like I'm just trying to overdo, so I just stopped doing it.
What lipstick do you advise they are good?
Nigerian brand, Avoid is actually very good brand. Zaron is like my go-to for Nigerian brand. I would say B-Beauty, but just that she doesn't really have a lot of shade range. But B-Beauty is also really good. Then those are three brands that I've bought with my money, and then I didn't regret buying them in the Nigerian brand. But in the US space, Fenty for me. What's the one I'm going to use? Maybelline. Maybelline is also good, and especially Beverly too is good.
Can I use Charlotte Tilbury Combat Powder to set the face?
Oh my love, that's like high-end brand. That's gold brand. Good. Okay, anymore? Because we're trying to show you how I switch my look. Anymore? Is that all question? Are you sure you're not missing anything?
Lipstick palettes recommendation, please.
Disconnected, yes, that's because we had a call. Sorry, my network disconnected. Please, what shade did you use for the lip? I used the, it's like you're not even fast. Let me fast and read these things. I used the Maybelline in the shade 10 and 65. Please, is it ideal to apply foundation on the neck to blend with the face? Okay, so that's the thing. I'm sure you followed me throughout the process of this look, right? Please, I just want to show you how. Now, one of the technique for me is while I walk, while I'm mixing, remember that mixing foundation shade, I am matching to the body. So her neck is actually closed. So there is no need for me to match this foundation to the neck, but I'm matching to the hand. So when I put my first foundation that I put here, can relax your hand now. I noticed that it was a bit light, it was cool, but it would have been too light for her body. So that's why on the second hand, in the other palette, I use the darker one and lesser of the lighter foundation. So when I'm mixing my foundation, I like to match to what is more obvious. If the body is more obvious, it means I'm matching to the body. If the neck is more obvious, it means I'm matching to the neck. But in a case where the mother is pregnant or she just put to bed and then the neck is super dark, the face is super light, I would apply all my prep I did on the face on the neck and then blend it down. So I'm applying foundation here and I'm applying powder to the neck. Even when I put my soap pro, I would also put my soap pro on the neck too.
So to take on essential blushes.
Same essential blushes. I feel they're too sheer. Yeah, they're too sheer. I don't like them at all. They're like no for me. Same essential. Please let me just stand in front of here so I can read and respond. Okay. What do you think about clients who want sunscreen before foundation? I think it's good, but at the same time, your foundations and most of your products mostly already have sunscreen in them, and sunscreen is literally for people who are going to be under the sun. So for me, I don't think I necessarily I bought them and it was a waste of my money because I felt like there was just no need for it. I got the Younger Beauty Gelato eyeliner. How is it compared to the Tehila? Okay, so Tehila dries matte black. Gelato actually still gives a bit of shine, but it's not a bad buy. Sopro makes my lashes white after I spray. Why does that happen? Because it's a strong adhesive spray. Please spray before you put your lashes, not after you've put your lashes. My lipstick process dries up mid blending and I end up applying so much lipstick and it cracks quite easily, especially if the client has chapped lips, even with lip moisturizer. That's the more reason why I had to start using my Fenty lip gloss, because it never dries up. It just makes my lips still soft. Did you notice that I did not really clean off the gloss on her lip even after I was ready to apply my lipstick? Yes, because I noticed that it just makes my job so easy. So use like a very good lip gloss, and when you're applying your lipstick, if any product you're applying, you have to be really fast with blending. Can Charlotte Tilbury do the same as an all-nighter? My love, there are two different types of spray. So Charlotte Tilbury is just going to make your makeup last really long, but all-nighter is going to make your makeup feel like a grip. So there are two different things and they should be used in the same time. Debbie Luster lip pencil in what shade? Salmon. Salmon is the name of that. Can you 100% trust what is written on product? For example, some products say something is matte and it end up not being matte. My love, no, please, you cannot 100% trust this product. That's the more reason why I would have our business class, and I'm going to be talking to you about branding, shoot time, allocation time, because all those things are very necessary to last long in this our makeup industry. Please, what lash glue did you use? I used the Chi lash glue. That's like my lash glue right now. It's so good, and then it doesn't really take my time. Please, what lashes is this and where can I get it? It's from the Chi lashes. She actually sent them to me for PR, and the lashes have been so good. Trust me, like I've used everything on my client. She sent them, and then she sent with the lash glue too. And buy them. Trust me, you love them. And they are not even mink, but they really do so well. What's your take on FBH Lush spray? Now that spray is good, but like a lot of people, even myself, I complain that it leaves too much oil on the skin after matte, and we are running away from something that makes us oily. So I think it's super good for clients that have very dry skin, but clients that have oily skin, I'll pass. Please, ma, let me get something straight. For a dark shade, what color of translucent powder should I use? And for baking, what color should I use? Okay, Blessing, for dark skin, you are not to use translucent powder. You are to use a dark skin colored setting powder, not translucent for them. So the dark skin you use for setting can also be used to bake for the same dark skin. And when I mean dark skin, I mean really dark skin. Have you tried Born This Way concealer? Yes, my love, I've tried Born This Way concealer, and I feel like sometimes it's overhyped because it's a little bit too thick and it just gives me too much stress when I want to blend. Oh wow, questions are popping. Okay. The look is giving rich vibes. I hope the model is going out after it. Yo, girl, you have to go out. Though she's my home girl, I'm sure she'll go out. The look cannot waste. She has to go out. And for this look, you can see we incorporated between Nigerian brand and we incorporated between US brand. So that's the truth, my darling. See, I'm not here to lie to you. I'm here to tell you the honest truth, right? There are some products that you want to use Nigerian brand, and then there are some products you have to break your back to invest in the right things. All right. Ma, what do you consider a good makeup? What features do you look out for? Number one, good makeup, my prep. I put a lot into prep. I put a lot into understanding my skin. I'm more of a lover of skin work than even eyes. Eyes is good, but I like good skin work. It just makes me, when you see your client and your client is looking like glass, like skin, like Bangladesh. Do you know what I'm talking about? That's the feeling that makes me feel confident in my makeup. I think everybody can do good eyeshadow. I think everybody can do good lips. Do you understand? But skin work is one thing I like to go all up. Look is giving, you sabi work, Ganga. Glad I took part in this. I'm so happy. Thank you for considering me worthy. I can't wait to let's get to the business part. Thank you. I love you guys. Please, what do you use to record your videos? I use a 14 Pro Max to record before, but I just got the 15 Pro Max and I'm still trying to understand it. But all the videos I've been doing in my past 1 year has been my 14 Pro Max. Please, is serum as the same as vitamin C serum? My love, you can see the serum is attached to the name, so they are all serum, but vitamin C, and then some is brightening, some is niacinamide. Beauty by AD in the shade Amber is for washing. Please, I see some people are going off this live. Don't go off this live yet. We are also going to be showing you how to switch look. I'm actually just giving her time for the makeup to settle in so that I'll show you how to switch look. Please, Beauty by AD in the shade Amber is for what shade, please? I did not use any Beauty by AD, so I'm confused. Please, you recommend Zeron and Tehila gel liner. Which one do you prefer? Trust me, I recommend Tehila. Zeron is also good, but Tehila for me is my favorite now. I'm trying to buy Makeup Forever and Fenty powder, but I'm on my budget. Which one do you advise me to buy first? Can I buy different shade and then mix them? Yes, my darling, you can buy one Makeup Forever and then you can buy one Fenty. Just make sure you're not buying the same shade. So if you're buying Makeup Forever, buy a light shade. If you're buying Fenty, buy maybe the one that is a bit darker so you can mix them to understand better. That's how I started my box. I didn't just buy. I started buying. I bought 2 Fenty shade. Next one, I bought 2 Makeup Forever. Before you know, I was already done. I can't wait for the business class. I also cannot wait. What's the definition of gorgeous makeup look, ma? Most time people say my makeup is always simple. I want to know how to achieve a gorgeous makeup look. I actually answered that already. For me, skin work is gorgeous. I make sure my skin works. So people who say it's very simple, make sure that your eyeshadow pop and then your lipstick pop. Because the skin is flawless, let your eyeshadow pop. If your eyeshadow is actually very simple, make sure your lip is actually popping. If your lipstick is going to be simple, make sure your eyeshadow is also popping. Is it bad to use Hairborn as lash glue? I used to use it back in the days. It's not bad, but sometimes it's just really risky, and some people would not want to pay a lot of amounts for people who use lash glue or bonding glue. How about using Superstay Compact Powder to set the under eye? I believe I already answered that before, so we don't waste more time. Please, can you spell the lash glue? It's already on your list. Check the list. Can the Beauty Cup Concealer be used for brows, and what shade do you recommend? For brows, no, because it's a little bit too creamy. Between Younger Beauty and Milani Powder, which is good? I already said Milani. I never said Newborn Beauty. Please, is the F Brow Tamer good? I already answered it. The look is giving. All right, okay. So I think at this point, we should just go. I was sleeping and tap and pat was running in my head. Well done, ma. You're a good lecturer. Thank you very much. Please, when oh, I see what you're doing there. You were sleeping and then you started hearing the make sure you pat and tap. Make sure you pat and tap. That's good. I'm actually happy. Don't forget that. Don't forget that, because it's actually very important for your under eyes. Please, when should I use the Charlotte Tilbury? Is it for setting after concealer or just finishing only? If you are boxed up enough, please, you can use it at that in between spray time and then your finish section. Remember when we used it when we wanted to bake? Yes, you can use your Charlotte Tilbury there, and then you can also use your Charlotte Tilbury when you're done with your final look, just so that you can be sure that you guarantee a really long lasting makeup. But if you're trying to cut on cost, just use it for when you're done with your makeup. Please, what other lashes glue can you recommend? My love, I think so far that's the one I can recommend because that's what I'm using. I'm in South Africa. Can you help me buy Nigerian product if I send you money? Yes, my team can actually help you to buy Nigerian product, and then you both would also discover or find out how to get it delivered to you. But buying, yes, but I think right now we're having issues. We don't have like a lot of delivery agency, but would make findings for that for you if need be. She sent the contact of vendors. Thank you so much, Armanda. You can also reach out to one of them and they will help you ship. Thank you so much. Mama, please do give away for this live demo. They will run back now. Okay. let's go ahead. Let's go ahead to let's go ahead to show you how we're going to switch the look. So first thing first, when you want to switch your look, especially when you have, let's say there's a switch, you want to take off the lip first. First thing you want to do is take off the lip, except if you are not changing your lip for your client. Now this, I like that this happened. Can you see? There's like a little stain there. I know how some clients, maybe they eat and all that, so that's actually good. I'll show you what I do in that regard. So once you take off the lip, give me that Fenty powder. Fenty, the blotting powder. So you want to also tap anywhere necessary. And then I have this Fenty blotting powder that I use, is broken. Then the pouch and pouch. Remember, this is what the Fenty powder blotting looks like. So I'm just going to take that blotting powder now and then use it to blot the oil. Now this powder is actually very expensive, not so expensive that much, but it works really well for me to blot my makeup and just retain that matte finish even after when I'm done. But in a case where you do not have this blotting powder, I recommend you to use your setting powder in the color setting powder you used. But for me, what I use is the blotting powder just to help me take out the oil and the shine from my look. Alright, once that is done, we want to go in with our Huda Beauty setting powder. And the reason why we are using the Huda Beauty setting powder in this time and instance is because of the fallout. So please do not press. You want to pat. Like you are applying it like you are afraid. Yes, that's the result you want to give. Apply as though you are afraid, because you are actually afraid. Because you are actually afraid of that. Once you're done with that, you also want to know that you want to take off your lashes and peel off the glue, please. If you're going to be repeating the same lashes you use, you want to peel off the glue. But if not, if you're going to be changing the lashes, then you don't have any business peeling off the glue. Yeah, just let us use it. Sorry, madam. Okay, and then I'll try to take off. Good enough, I have nails, so most time my nails just help me to peel off the glue. Sorry. But if you do not have nails, you can use your tweezer. Mascara one. Alright, so now let us take off the glitters. To take off your glitters, you're using the mascara one. Can you see the brush? Yes. So you just want to use this. Once you're done, you want to take up your wipes and clean anything that is touching the lashes. Once we've dusted out, now we're going to apply our eyeshadow. First thing you want to do now is go back with your eyeshadow primer again. Because we are creating a matte eyeshadow for this instance, we are going to go back with a primer, our eyeshadow primer again. But if we're creating the, let's say, another shiny eyeshadow, there is no need for you to do this. Just go and apply your glitter glue and apply your next shade of glitter. But I'm actually picking the very difficult option, and this option is the option of doing matte eyeshadow. Is what? Okay, yeah. So I'm going to take my primer, and this time around you want to pat your primer only where you would apply the matte eyeshadow. Yes, only where you would apply the matte eyeshadow. So if I'm applying the matte eyeshadow only on my lid, that's where the primer is going to be. Okay, once you're done with that, please ensure you take a flat brush. Don't take a fluffy brush. Ensure you take a flat brush for this step. Flat brush is those kind of brushes that are very flat. Can you see it? It's just very flat. Ensure you take a flat brush. And then take your eyeshadow palette. We're using this naked eyeshadow palette from the Big Beauty. And I'll be taking these two shades. So now you want to pat. Let me see you party now. So guys, so open your eyes. So I like to tell my clients to open their eyes at this stage for me to see that it is placed directly where I want it. Okay, so I want to create a bit of a brighter impact at the tear dot here. Alright. And then to finally blend out the edges, I'll be taking this shade and this shade. And that's it. So I can decide to either smoke my eye. Remember we didn't smoke the lower eyes for the first look because we wanted to keep it. So I can decide to smoke my eye, let's say with a color palette. I'll take a color like this. Can you see me pick the color, this shade now? And then I'm just gonna go under. And that's it. We're going to dust off. And so this is the reason why we had that setting powder there. Yes, that's the reason. Because of all those fallouts. So now that we've dusted off, there's no need for you to apply powder again because the setting powder I've already done the work for you. I'm just going to go back now. I'm just going to go back and line my eyes again. Sorry, look at it. No, I'm sorry. I'm actually not responding to messages because I want you to really understand this part of this class. But once we're done, I'm going to respond to that before we go on. we have changed this look from the first look to the second look. I'm going to just use my using the same eyeliner. Now for this particular time, because we've already have we've done makeup look before, and then that eyeshadow, the lashes is bound to actually look really messy, I would like to go in with my mascara just to fluff. If you don't use mascara, you can just use a gel liner just to help you to color the lashes back. Because if you put your lashes directly on it this way without having to do this clean, it's just me mascara. Your lashes is going to be looking dirty, if you understand what I mean. So she's about to tear, so I just have to make sure you take out the tears before it comes out. Where's the mascara? But for this time around, please make sure the mascara you apply is really light. Don't apply mascara, don't apply thick mascara so that your lashes don't feel very heavy. And for the lips, I said that was because the maroon shade I want to wear in pink. So I'm going to show you how I achieve I'm taking this Milani shade in the shade number 14.
Is the tear dot shade shimmery?
No, it's a matte white. So now, once I apply this, I also want to take my brush and quickly blend the line out. Please smile. Tell my client or model to quickly smile. While you're blending that line out, ensure to still leave the inner space. Then I'll be taking this pink shade from the Beyond Beauty. Now because this lip shade dries so fast, once you place, you want to also make sure to blend it to meet the first shade. Please, can you see the way I'm applying it in stages? Ensure your model or your client is smiling. And you're taking the pink shade and you're applying it over the maroon shade. So once you're done with the lower part, you also want to do the same to the upper part. Please, if you're using this Beyond Beauty lipstick, they dry so fast. Mine is not drying up so fast because her lips still have moisture from the lip gloss.
Are you going to say like because some parts we missed because of network? I'm always scared of touching my eyeshadows or face so it doesn't go off.
Sorry, I don't get that.
I am always scared of touching my eyeshadow or face so it doesn't go off.
You cannot be scared. If you have the two, if you have a client who wants double change.
Someone has answered, say always make sure your hand is
your hand is and then you have your hand pouch.
Touch the face lightly without pressure.
Yeah. So I'm going to just take my concealer this is quite optional. Give me the FBH palette. This lip color. So I'm taking her shade in this concealer
This
palette.
eye is a bomb. Gosh, matte is giving luxury.
I love matte.
Please, what shade is melanin in the lipstick?
14, shade 14. Just to be sure. Shade number 14.
You did not highlight the nose with highlighter in the previous look.
I did. That's nose bronzer, right? Or are you talking of liquid concealer? No, I don't do those long line liquid concealers. No, when I blend my concealer here, I have what's left over on the beauty sponge and then bring it down. But when it comes to bronzer or the shiny bronzer highlighter, I always do one dot here and then one dot here. That's what I do.
Now our mother is looking like Uche Montana.
Okay.
She said, I love the look.
Yeah, thank you. I did too. So I figured I've not showed red lip in the class, so I just stopped. This is how I actually do. If it's red, after doing the liner, I'll take red and put inside. If it's red and pink, like when it comes, I'm not really a red person, I'm more of a nude person. But some days when the Holy Spirit just touches, it just goes.
Wow.
And then we are good to go. Once we put our lashes now, I think the fluffy lashes will go better. The mink lash, because I'm posting this one now. Alright, guys, let me respond. Just bring out one of those mink lashes. Yes. Now the name of the blotting pen. Okay, let me just start from where we stop. So we are almost officially over. I just want to respond to messages that was sent earlier. Oh, this lashes used before. Where does it look cut? She sent the contact here, the snap I sent you. Mama, please don't give away. Okay, please. I think I missed the part where you said where the lashes are from. Somebody responded 3 lashes. This is David Cosmetic that's selling in Nigeria. No, they're also beauty of by TV Bella. Don't give away from me from your side. I appreciate it. Okay. That's good enough. So now we're changing the lashes and okay, we're using like a fluffy lash now just so that it complements this look more. You see, the other one we used was just very simple because the eyes was already very busy. But now this eyeshadow is actually very simple, so you want to use a lashes that is more pronounced. Okay, so she's just going to put the glue. I can come for pickup. Please, what shade of color did you use for transitioning dark shade and for a color? Please, what's the name of the blotting powder again? It's Fenty Beauty blotting powder. Ma, do you sell makeup too? Yes, we do. What's the name powder, Ma? Fenty Beauty. It doesn't have a name. It is just it's a universal shade. It's a universal shade actually. It's actually a matte finish blurring powder. So it is lip. Ma, is it here that shade shimmering? No, please. Are you going to save this live because some parts were missed? I will try to save the live video. I'm always scared of touching the eyeshadow or face. It doesn't go up. Make sure your hand doesn't rest on it. The eyes is giving bomb. Thank you so much. I think so far so good. That's it. Ma, how can I get my eyeshadow application right? It's always wrong. Number one, change your eyeshadow palette if your eyeshadow palette is not pigmented, because the pigmented palette is always very easier to work with. Also get a very good eyeshadow primer. Then your brushes are also very key too. Why did you not conceal up of your brows? Because it's not necessary. I only conceal up of my brows if there is a mistake, but if there's no mistake, then there is no need to conceal. The switch is fire. Thank you so much. So you don't need to spray the face again after changing the look. I only need to spray with Soap Pro setting spray and my long lasting matte. You don't need to set with the rest of the others anymore, because at this point the face is already settled in. All you want to do is to set with things that's going to make the face last really long. That's the only thing. No, let me so you can help me revamp. Please, what shade of lipstick did you use here? I used the Milani 14 and then the Beyond Beauty 01. I'm always scared of trying colors of eyeshadow and lips. I do nude most of the time for clients. It's actually a normal feeling. I'm also very scared of trying colors. That's the more reason why you have to do shoots. Yes, you have to do shoots. Those shoots helps you build your confidence on how to get this lipstick and get these things done regardless of the time. I use the chill lashes. I get compliments every time. It's so natural looking. Thank you, girl. Like that lashes is good. I just a shout wow wow wow. Me too, I just a shout wow 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 wow. It's in there, thank you. The new lash is real specky. Yes, it's good. It's called Invisible Mate. Thank you, Maria. That's good. You are the best. Thank you so much, Chineye. I really appreciate. Please do not forget to send a picture of the eye drop. I hope you are taking pictures because I will not take a picture of the eye drop. I showed it in the video because I needed you to take a picture. So once this video is saved, please go back to the beginning and take a picture of that. Thank you for sharing the knowledge with us. I love you. Thank you so much. I love you too. Can you add gloss to the matte like this lip? Yes, of course you can. I'm more of a glossy person, but I intend to make a video with this matte, so I don't think I'll be glossing it. But thank you so much, everybody. You're simply the best. Thank you too, and I can't wait to see you tomorrow. Should we? Where's the lashes? Let's just put the lashes so that we'll complete our look. So that will complete our look. So I'm just going to place it in the middle here. Okay, so we are. I wanted to buy the lash, but Fab's Beauty did not have. And you can reach out to Chill Lashes directly. I'm sure she would have. Or Gift should have. Gift always have Chill Lashes. I dropped her contact. So please give me jewelry. Let's applying for some jewelry. Okay. And that is it for this look. No, I want just single jewelry. Okay. Thank you so much for staying with us through the look. I cannot wait to. Oh, we still have more questions. Thank you, Blessing. You're the best. I'm super glad I joined. Thank you. Thank you. The Joa setting spray you use can use Ferrari instead. Yes, if you have that can also work. Those single bags. Yeah. Your technique has helped me a lot, Mama. Thank you so much. Everything is given. I wanted to buy the lash, but Fab didn't have. Thank you. You can reach out to Chill Lashes directly. When is our Gile class? I'm sure Sammy will send in the video as soon as possible. The class is not being dissolved. So once Sammy has compiled the video, he's going to send it to me, and I'm also going to post it on the class. So please be patient with Sammy, as he was a bonus class he promised to give, and I'm sure he's going to fulfill his part. Please, can you use the Dalba and the Urban Decay Vitamin C Serum together? I feel that would be too much because they are both glow finish or both hydrating finish. So I feel like the both of them will be too much. Or you need to use them at different segments. So if you're using the Dalba at the... Please, go have this earring. Thank you. If you're using that one I gave is what you're wearing for her. This one in her hand. If you're using the Daba Hour serum, I think you can skip on the vitamin C serum or vice versa, if that makes sense. Thank you for the video, and I'm going to save the video because of those who could not join and network encountered in the process. I will save the video. Ma'am, I'm very light skinned and I wear 1 Estee Lauder foundation, but it doesn't have much coverage. I was wondering if you could please recommend a different brand for me. So if you're in Nigeria, you could mix your Estee Lauder foundation with a V Beauty foundation, like the lighter shade. But if you're abroad and want to get foundation, I think you can do like the lighter shade of Huda Beauty, because Huda Beauty has more coverage. So Bobby Brown, no, brown sugar in Huda Beauty is like one of their lightest shade, and that could also work for you. What's the cause of lip breaking after application? Number one, the lip is cracked. You have to scrub your lip. You have to properly clean the lip before application. Number two, the lipstick product you're using is too thick. So most of these lipstick, when they are thick, they also give, you should please just stop her hand. They also give issues with the cloth. Get wipes and those stuff. Where did Mary go? What's the next question? In my eyes, or can I see a shine after the transition of the lid? A shine where? What do you mean shine? Like glitter shine or what? Or because there's no bronzer. And even if you're still going to see sparkles of glitters, it's obviously going to be from the first glitter, but it's not going to shine through like you actually applied glitter. We love you. You're simply the blessed. Thank you so much. God bless you, my love. The lip is combo. Thank you, ma, for today. I really, really appreciate it. Can I mix Huda Beauty and L'Oreal? Yes, you can. The earring is given. Kai, you're just too good. I have always believed in you since I knew you. Glammed me year 2020 on my birthday, and my husband proposed. Oh wow! Thank you so much. Thank you so much. You're the best teacher. Thank you so much, guys. So this is like the final process of the look. One thing, I don't want us to start business class. You will not go home. So let me record your video business class after this class, and then I'll drop them in the group tomorrow. Before we end this, I just want to say something about the giveaway we are giving. So I see a lot of us complaining about the model, and as of a truth, I picked the dark skin because I want you people to go out of your comfort zone. Dark skin is one of the trickiest parts, so take your time and watch your video. People who are complaining about the product and how to use and what product not to use, mind you, the best of your product comes out from the best of your result. So you cannot put in a certain product and expect a certain result, okay? So go all out and make sure. I was thinking of moving the date from the 22nd, but I really want to still leave it on the 22nd so that we can have, I want to put you under pressure to deliver the best. Mind you, the deadline for submission is by 7 p.m. on the 22nd. The group or the link will be dropped at 12 noon on the 22nd. So you have 22nd 12 noon to drop your video between 12 to 7 p.m. Once that video on this by 7 p.m. is the deadline. Once you get to 7 p.m., we'll be deleting the group from the official WhatsApp page, and we'll be revisiting those people who have actually sent in the look. I think so far I'm just going to rename the things that we're giving out in this giveaway. So we have 5 makeup chairs, we have 5 makeup boxes, we also have let me just go through it. Yes, 5 makeup chairs, 5 makeup boxes. We also have 2 YN216 lights. We have suit photo lights. We have 1 person going home with 100,000, and then we have 2 persons going home. What's the office name? Please let me see. I want to be sure that I'm reading out exactly what we're going to be giving away. So I'm not going to be giving these things away to people who are nonchalant about creating it. You have to go through and get the result right for me. I'm going to personally evaluate those videos. Like, I will take my time and really evaluate those videos. So you are sure, or I am sure, that you are deserving
or the person is deserving of them before they actually get the result. So I just want to take our time to read what we say we're giving out. Yes, so 5 makeup chairs, 2 YN216 lights, 1 suit photo light, 5 makeup boxes. 2 people go home with 50,000 naira each to be transferred to them. 5 people will go home with 25,000 naira each. Then 1 person is going home with 100,000 naira each. So please and please bring out your best. I will also make sure that every look is taken, everything is taken into details. I will make sure to go through that, and the winner will, or the winners will be announced on the 23rd. There's no time to waste your time. These gifts are already on ground. Everything is on ground. So once we get your evaluation on the 22nd, on the 23rd, I'll be announcing the winner. And once we announce the winners of this on that platform, all deliveries is to be handled by the winners. So anywhere you are, you reach out to us. We tell you how you're going to get your things delivered to you. For the cash winners, you're just going to drop your numbers or your payment platform you want us to send the payment to. I or my team would be transferring the money to you on the 23rd, and I can't wait to see you at the top. Like, trust me, I am so pumped for this class, and the energy you people have been bringing to this class has been making me want to give you more. Do you understand? So thank you so much. Oh, why am I hiding behind you? Thank you so much, guys. Bye.
Please, can you help us move it to 25th? To get that very dark skin is very scarce. So okay, please move it, we beg you. Okay. So we'll talk about moving. Let me decide.